Reform UK is crumbling and there's nothing they can do to stop it. Nigel Farage is mostly known for one thing: hating the EU.
Everyone's a winner with Europe. Everyone's a winner with Europe.
Nigel represented the UK in the EU Parliament for 17 years, and that 17 years was definitely his peak, by the way. Look at what he said to the EU president.
You have the charisma of a damp rag and the appearance of a low-grade bank clerk.
And just like my buggy video, which if you haven't seen, go watch it right now. Press the little I button, go watch it. What are you doing? Go, 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 go. But just like my buggy video, I'm going to throw in another clip that I really like, because it's just I think it's one of my favourite political clips ever. So I'm just going to play it now.
Ask yourself a question. Would you buy a used car from this commission?
On second thought, my favourite political clip is actually Ronald Reagan's phone call to Margaret Thatcher after invading Grenada. That was... I'm going to play that.
Hello, Margaret Thatcher, yes?
If I were there, Margaret, I'd throw my hat in the door before I came in.
Oh, no, but there's no need to do. Thank you very much. I must return to this debate in the House. It's a bit tricky.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
Go get him. Eat him alive.
Goodbye.
All right, bye.
But after 17 years, he'd finally conned and lied to enough people to get Brexit done. After which he very quickly left the far-right political party he was the leader of, UKIP, only to lead a different far-right party which won the seats in the European Parliament. I have no idea how European parliamentary elections work though, so I have no idea how anyone could get in, never mind Nigel Farage. But I have to say, it's a definite logo upgrade. Look at the gross UKIP one, look at the Brexit Party one, it's just the Reform one they just copied. We don't need to talk about that, let's not get too deep into the thickets here. But the Brexit Party was not without its own problems. It had so many problems that the leader had to quit after making anti-Islamist posts on Twitter and retweeting Tommy Robinson. But what's important to note is that after Brexit, Nigel Farage went on the back burner. He wasn't seen much by the public. Now here's my theory, and I think this makes sense. My girlfriend doesn't believe it, but I'm so sure this is right. I think he only went on I'm a Celeb, yes, for the £1.5 million. But I think he went on I'm a Celeb knowing that he was going to take over Reform. And I'm a Celeb was just a huge publicity stunt. My girlfriend's argument here is that he's Nigel Farage and he's an egotistical twat. And it's hard to disagree with him there. But I think this was a huge publicity stunt. Although very quickly, I just want to say that I'm very glad it happened because this photo is so goddamn cute. Look at him. What an innocent baby. And the reason I think it was a publicity stunt is because very shortly after I'm a Celeb, he made an announcement that would shock everybody. Nigel's throwing another party! Yeah, that's right, baby. You see this blue bit? Scrap that. That's got to get out of here. We're Reform UK now. I mean, look, the logo's the same, the leader's the same. To every person pre-lobotomy on this earth, this is the same party. And this could not be more evident from the slew of accusations being thrown at Reform UK over the past few weeks. Now, the biggest and most important of these is levied against the leader, Nigel Farage, and it's that he somewhat incited the UK riots. These accusations come from a Twitter video Nigel posted, but Tom Swarbrick's going to explain this way better than I ever could, so I'm going to play that real quick.
You said some reports suggest he was known to the security services.
Was this guy being monitored by the security services? Some reports say he was.
Those reports were a fake news website, Russian state TV, and Andrew Tate.
Was this guy being monitored by the security services? Some reports say he was.
And that makes it, I think, genuinely official that our political leaders are just Russian media. They'd be shipping out the Russian media here, they'd be shipping out there. What's that, you got a salad? Would you like a side of Russian state media? Some Russian state media for you. Medium rare. I say medium rare, it's more like very fucking common. But Nigel's get out of jail free card here is just perfectly idiotic.
I could have said some reports suggest he crossed the channel last October. Some reports suggest he's an active
And all of
Muslim.
that was unfounded.
I did none of those things.
Yeah, and he also could have suggested shooting the migrants when they come on boats and poisoning them when they enter our ambulances. I'll play the clip now. This is what one of his campaigners said.
Yeah, 11 year, not a place near Dover. Army recruitment. Get the young recruits there, yeah, with guns on the beach, target practice. Just show them.
And here's that second clip for you.
Do us a favour, you're a paramedic and not getting your ambulance, just don't put oxygen on the bar, so use something else. You know where I'm coming from.
I mean, I can only hope and dream that he knows the difference between oxygen and nitrous oxide and is telling them to give them essentially a safe version of balloons. He's just trying to get people out there high. But that's not what he means at all. Also, that guy claims to have known Nigel for years and been one of the people who, quote-unquote, got him to run for election. Man, this is just wild. And the problems don't stop at just Nigel or just like the odd campaigner. You've even got Richard Tice, the former leader. He's getting investigated for offshore accounts. He's been accused of having offshore accounts, which essentially means, if you don't know, that he's not paying UK tax. Reform also faced scrutiny over whether all of its candidates in the election were real. It posted 609 candidates on July 4th. Part of this was due to the fact that some of them were in effect, quote-unquote, paper candidates who did not campaign and were just there to increase the party's vote share. Also part of the reason that he got the most votes he's ever had in the 4 million range. Because there were just so many names on the ballot of even people who weren't campaigning. By the way, the guy in that photo is 100% real. It's just loads of people went, he looks AI generated. Which is such a funny... Imagine just being a human and people being like, no, that's AI. That's pretty funny to me. Also, quick aside, I hate to agree with Nigel Farage here, but looking at these numbers, this does not seem representative at all. This seems so undemocratic. I know the stats. I know Labour won 34% of the vote and something like 63% of the seats. I know this, but just seeing it in actual number form is so... Is Nigel onto something? Finding segues into other points is really hard, but this has just made my point for me. People like Nigel Farage, people like Donald Trump are so dangerous because a lot of what they say is correct. It's just right, like factually. And even Andrew Tate, a lot of what they say, in fact, I would go as far as saying 90% of what these characters say is factually correct. It's the 10% that is false or is dangerous or is just completely racist, sexist, all of homophobic, all of the above. And it's really easy to get into this trap of, you know what, I agree. Why did Hillary Clinton delete all those emails? And then, oh, actually, you know what, yeah, why do all her donors take the same tax breaks and she's calling them out for that? And then it gets, and then you start getting into this trap of, and I kind of agree, maybe migration is a bit high, maybe we should be bringing these numbers down, and you hear him quote these insane stats, but the people that he's convinced with the 90% of his correct stuff are hearing him say that and going, yeah, I know this man does not speak lies, this man speaks truth, I trust this man. But to bring this video to a wrap, I just want to call out Nigel Farage for a little oopsie daisy he did in that LBC interview. I'll play the clip now and see if you can spot it. Let me know in the comments if you get it.
Did you accidentally fall for that misinformation?
No, I didn't believe any of it.
Or did you know it was wrong from the get-go?
I hadn't got a clue.
So why did you cite it?
Because the people wanted to know the truth, and if they had known the truth, Tom, the riots would not have been of the same magnitude.
But you're not just people. You are an elected representative.
I cut him off a little bit there by accident, but yes, he's an elected representative, and elected representatives are held at a higher standard, which Nigel Farage has not lived up to. And the little oopsie daisy I caught him in is, did he not know or did he not believe any of them? Because if he didn't believe any of them, then he shouldn't have been sharing them in the first place. And I think a quote from the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson sums up all of the candidates in the Reform Party quite well.
What
Great
is it,
supine protoplasmic invertebrate jellies.
But yeah, that's I keep trying to say that's about it because that's what Moist Critical says, and that's kind of just who I watch the most. But I figure if I'm gonna rip it straight from him in the buggy video, I should probably do my best to give it a go myself. So yeah, that's about it. Just wanted to talk about it. See ya.